pastor of Christ Baptist Church, and this is one of my live introductory videos. There's a lot of things to discuss in the way of current events about our president and the institutions of a lot of Sharia law, persecution, and it's coming from also from the Vatican, Pope Francis. It all has to do with the one world, new world order. This is very serious, and it needs to be discussed as what we're going to have to do. This is where the rubber meets the road, folks. And it's not going to be pretty at all. So we need to, I would like to address this, especially to the Jews for Jesus and the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews. Okay. And I want to address these different groups. I feel an urge for the Gentiles to make communication links with the Jews in the gathering of the homeland for Israel, and probably for us at the rate our country's going. So there are many issues. The validity of the Apostle Paul and the apostate church of the Protestant churches, Pope Francis's plans for the Protestant churches to be incorporated into the Catholic Church, and the Sunday worship death notices from the New World Order thing through Pope Francis and our president. And there's very many serious issues that are facing our horizon right now, and it needs to be addressed in all seriousness. The geopolitical events of this time have surpassed 1962 October Cuban Missile Crisis with President John Fitzgerald Kennedy. It is far past that point as far as being dangerous is concerned. We no longer have a constitution in the United States of America. Obama has officially abolished it. We're just on borrowed time. Why no one has responded, I don't know. But I think Christ covered it. It'll be the same as it was in the days of Noah. It'll be marrying and giving in marriage, eating and drinking, until the flood came and washed them all away. And that's about what it boils down to, folks. I do feel the urge to get a hold of the Jewish nation, and we need to pull together. I think we are connected together, both races of people. It's not just one anymore. I think we're all related. It'll be one much larger Jewish nation. So Christians unite. Uh, Link up with Israel and relink the United States. And something needs to be done. We got some real fools that have acquired leadership in areas they should never have been. And Pope Francis is nothing but an 87-year-old geriatric fool. And Obama is no better. These kind of things are serious. It really has to be addressed. So you can reach me at Christ Baptist Church on my channels. And I'd like to see the Jews for Jesus and the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews. Please respond. And let's go on talk shows, of our hangouts. And get together and hash these things out and where the current events are going and what's going to be happening here. Other things, military issues, such as Russian bombers, nuclear bombers, mind you, prop-driven. I've been off the coast of the California coast of the United States. There's a lot of activity going on all over the world. Russia's invasion of the Ukraine. It's a real serious mess of possible nuclear holocaust. Putin does not seem to want to go along with the New World Order, which doesn't break my heart any. Sometimes God uses the heathen nations to wake up the ones that are supposed to be awake all along. And the Protestant churches are one of them. These issues are very serious. Pope Francis is going to incorporate the Protestant churches into the Catholic Church by using the church registries. The 666 mark will be issued through the church registries as one avenue of approach that's going to be used. The other avenue of approach will be through the RIMF, whatever it is, computer chip in the Obamacare. There's another issue, 666 mark of the beast. So there's two more or less separate approaches that are probably all connected together somehow through church registries and through health care of the elderly in those church registries. So it'll link up somewhere. So it'll all be together as one world government. It'll be mass martyrdom, execution of Jews and Christians. Anybody that believes in Jesus, in other words. And we need to talk about God's foreknowledge also, and salvation experiences, and predestination. There's a host of issues that need to be covered. It's not just the government. It's not just... These are all issues. Some more serious than others, but they're all issues, and they need to be covered. We need to find common ground. We need to, how can we go forward when we don't know which way we're facing? Beatle John Lennon said that. And for history's sake, I am covering the Beatles and the sexual revolution and the cultural revolution on my website at Christ Baptist Church. That's for historical reasons, so that you can see how all this mess started, and that Beatle John Lennon was in charge of the Communist Party. And I got different videotapes of him involved in these different things he had going during the 1960s. The involvement of the Illuminati and the Freemasons in the lives of people like the Beatles, all the rock and roll stars of the 1960s, of which most all of them are dead now. They died an early death because they sold their souls to the devil. It's all coming out now. The Illuminati is being exposed. And that's who's going to be controlling the one world order factor. Not to mention the bankers like J.P. Morgan and a lot of other big name bankers want to decrease the Earth's population by 90% or better. And it's going to be a big Holocaust. We're all going to be going through it, Jews and Gentiles. And like I said earlier, it's everybody and anybody who believes in Jesus Christ really is what it boils down to. It doesn't matter what race we are. It's just the bottom line is Christians. So, no one in that category is excluded. And we need to have common ground and a sense of direction and where we're going. If we don't, it's really not going to be pretty. We'll be scattered everywhere. There's no church right now. All the believers are scattered everywhere all over the world. We need to pull together. And it needs to be now. You can contact me through the Christ Baptist Church. I have a website under the same title. Just Google it. It should come up. I haven't checked the indexing system for quite some time. I had to start that site over because I've got overloaded one page and it got messed up, so I had to redo it. So I moved the site. It's under a different URL, but the name of it is still Christ Baptist Church. And I explain the doctrine, and I have different issues I've posted on that site. And to make some things interesting, including a lot of paranormal activity has been displayed. And I've included that as a point of interest because Christ talked about, there would be more signs and wonders to deceive, if possible, even the very elect. So I have posted a lot of the paranormal activities of ghosts, and different movies that will kind of stimulate your curiosity, so to speak, in the way of how all this stuff works. Ghost stories and things that go bump in the night, Antichrist movies, Second Coming of Christ movies, New World Order movies. I have a pretty long list of about 64 different movies or clips of the paranormal. Some of them are old movies that you've probably seen before that were kind of interesting. Some of it's for entertainment, some of it's for knowledge. And the clips of paranormal activities have been coming out. The owners of the Amityville house in New York have stepped forward and released a lot of videotapes. A couple of owners of the Amityville house have released captured ghosts on video, and I found that to be rather fascinating. So I included some other points of interest for you to view besides just the regular, And of course, my first issue, of course, is salvation itself in Jesus Christ. That'll be staring you right in the face. That'll be the first thing you see on my site when you go on. It'll be the doctrine of what I have set up that I believe is sound. And you need the speaking in tongues, and you need to have the gift of interpretation, water baptism. We have a lot of things to discuss and pull together. And I do definitely want to get in touch with the Jews for Jesus and the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews. So here we have it. Probably a rather large nutshell. We're going to have to sort through this stuff and find common ground on what we're going to be teaching. We can't have inconsistencies. We must be together on this. Otherwise, like when I was going through searches on the different videos, I saw some rather derogatory things said about Yahweh, our God. One of the statements that somebody made that really jumped up and hit me in the face was, they said, oh, they're the children of a useless God. Oh, useless, is he? That's rather interesting. They're going to think useless when he has to judge them on Judgment Day. It will not be pretty. And it's going to be the second destruction of the earth. And the voices, all those who are in the grave shall hear the voice of the Son of God and shall arise. They're going to see, quote, useless, unquote, in action in more powerful ways than they ever even imagined to comprehend. Only fools say things like what they've said. And they've got a lot of fools out there. A lot of fools. Most of them are in central governments. Idiots, imbeciles, nitwits, dimwits, and half-wits. You name it, they got it. It's a conglomeration of alphabet soup. And it needs to be wiped out. It needs to go. If they think that Satan is going to take over this earth, ultimately it will not happen. They might think so for a bit. Not much longer. And they're going to be in for a huge surprise. Entire cities will start getting destroyed. And human blood's going to come out of the White House. and a lot of other areas are going to overflow with blood. They're going to see the wrath of the Almighty, and they're going to drink from the wine of the winepresses over the wrath of the living God. So there we have it, folks. Please write in to Christ Baptist Church for me, and to the two organizations I especially addressed. I'd love to hear from you. Other than that, may God bless, and you have a good day, and try to have a happy, as much possible life. Until we meet again, shalom or peace be with you. God bless. Good night. This is Pastor Gregory Payne saying good night.